It's your boy G Money, all the way from the O to the A, rocking with TampaMystic, the industry's most wanted. You know how we get down.
G Money on a motherfucking track. Two-time, pussy on two-tone Glock, and it's dirty in the back of the Maybach, finna close the curtains. All of that hating you doing ain't working. Now all of that hating you doing ain't working. We came for robbing, yeah, we came for serving. We had to prosper cause we had a purpose. Stay in your bushes with drakes and we lurking. Ain't give us nothing.
Hey, what's going on, man? It is your girl, TampaMystic, and we are live on the Industry's Most Wanted podcast. Big Industry's Most Wanted, not the little one. I got my family checking in today. This is like my brother from another. Shout out to G Money. What's going on with you, bro?
Shout out to you. You already know how we rock. You already know.
Appreciate you being here. It's been a minute since we've sat down, so we got a lot to talk about, a lot to catch up on, you know, definitely. But without further ado, give us that official introduction. Kind of run through who G Money is.
Oh, yeah. So I go by G Money. You know, I made the beat. Been producing for well over 15, 14 years. Started out in Ohio, Dayton, Ohio. Shout out the city. And moved to Atlanta. And ever since I moved to Atlanta, it's just been flowing for me. You know what I'm saying? So big shout out to the A.
On and popping.
You already know.
Definitely. Well, you have a lot of accolades, a lot of things you've done. So we're just going to dive in and talk about all that. But going back to Ohio, childhood.
Yeah.
What were you like?
Tell you the truth, man, I was just laid back, you know, not really talkative, but I had people around me that kept me upbeat, so I had to talk. Like,
understood.
I mean, I was around a family that you know how it is in our culture, like just outspoken, you know, barbecues, family outings, you know, music. I had music around me my whole life. So that kind of what brought the G Money about me, I'd say.
I know that's right. Most definitely. Would you say at all growing up in Ohio had an influence on you wanting to do music?
For sure. I mean, Ohio, Dayton, Ohio in general is a place where they say funk was originated.
And that's where Yellow came from, too.
That's what, shout out Yellow. You know, that's my brother from another. We've been
Yellow.
working. Yellow. So I linked with Yellow like probably about 6-7 years ago. I knew him my whole life, but we linked and it was just like a rush of good music, good energy, and we just kept it going ever since.
I love it. I love it. So definitely, you know, being in Dayton had some influence on you for wanting to do music, because historically there are a lot of dope talent that came out of Ohio, you know, as a whole. Who from Dayton, besides Yellow, you know, have you either worked with or maybe inspired you along your journey?
Another one of the artists I work with is Shot Smoke.
Okay.
So when I was like 15, 16, he actually started off as a barber / artist in the city, and he would just cut my hair. I would go get ready for the basketball games, you know what I'm saying? He'd chop me up, and he heard I made beats just for fun on the low. And he said, send me a pack, man. Sent him some beats. Of course, at the time, probably trash, you know what I'm saying? Still working, but he inspired me because he had like so much influence in our city when it came to the music scene. Yeah. And being around him it polished my sound. It polished me as a person, for real.
So definitely shout out and salute to him.
Shout out Shot Smoke, man. My homie, my dog.
Absolutely. Was making beats the first thing that you did in the industry? Because I know you do other stuff as well. You know, you engineer and stuff like that. Was making beats the first thing that you ever did musically?
To tell you the truth, it was like a combination. Like, I had a computer in one of my houses. I don't even remember what address, but starting out, I just had a computer, no microphone. We had like a sound recording program where I was recording through the speakers. Like, I would talk into the speaker, and I knew how to download Fruity Loops demo, and I would make little cheesy beats, you know what I'm saying, and just rap over them and keep them for myself.
Man, listen, if there's a will, there's a way. You're going to figure it out. So you had that little bit of echo coming through the speakers and learn how to record yourself. Yeah. That is dope. Did you ever desire to pursue music further as being a music artist?
I mean, I always had a dream to just be something better than just the average 9-to-5 worker, whether that had been sports, whether that had been music, whether that had been, you know, whatever it may have been. I just wanted to be bigger than my city.
Man, that is facts, because it's always bigger than us. Yeah. So we have to find a reason why.
Oh, yeah.
What is your why?
You know, that's funny that you said that. Like, that's one of my key quotes is know your why, know your purpose. And my why is really just to inspire, to influence, and also do it for myself. I want to inspire myself with things that I do. You know, like accolades and accomplishments that I have had. Yeah. It makes me reach another level. Like, okay, that was great, but I need to get to another area in my life. Definitely. To, you know, keep going.
Absolutely. So you are truly walking your purpose.
You already know.
100%.
Yeah.
What do you feel like G Money's purpose on earth is?
It's funny you say that too. I actually had a conversation with God the other day because I think I lost my purpose for a second here.
Yeah.
Dealing with that lawsuit, which I'm pretty sure we'll touch on.
Yes.
You know, that kind of took a lot of just energy out of me for a few years.
I can imagine.
Yeah, and it's just like I didn't really trust the industry anymore. So it's like, what am I doing this music stuff for?
Right.
Like, I need to make money. And if I can't make money by getting hit records, what am I doing it for?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I think with anything in life, when we lose that trust, it almost like just deflates us.
Don't it?
We've both been there. You know what I'm saying? In certain situations, I know you got some big situations, which we're going to definitely touch on, but I can understand that. What brings you back though? To G Money, the go-getter? Yeah.
I mean, it's a few different factors to that. One being my family.
Yeah.
I started this journey back in 2009 with my wife.
Yes.
And I've been with her since 2009.
That's so beautiful. And she's beautiful too.
Appreciate you.
And a beautiful daughter.
Look. And I think her grind and inspiration is what like motivates me, because I seen her grow from 100 followers to 100K followers. And that transition was when I would have my down spill. Like, what do I do? What do I do? So I watched her for 3 years grind. And it's like, damn, she made 100K followers on all platforms without even knowing how to use these tools and resources, just her grinding.
Yeah.
And I think that said, you got a purpose. Like, you and your wife moved to Atlanta 12, 13 years ago.
Yeah.
And she didn't have a way in this social media era, and she made a way.
Yes.
So you got to look to that. You look to your people next to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love the fact too, and this is no shade to the fellas, but some men out there are so prideful that it almost hurts their pride when they see their significant other doing better than them, because a man is manly, right? I love the fact that you completely are like on board with everything she has going on, and you're proud of her. You know what I'm saying? You celebrate her. That stuff is important.
Yeah, she had an event yesterday. Shout out LuxCon, Miss Ricola.
Okay.
And I forgot the name of the company, but Miss Ricola and LuxCon. PJ is my wife. She actually got invited out to be a engagement speaker, so she had a good time speaking. Nervous, her first speaking engagement, and I kind of just put myself in the role of being the assistant, the cameraman, the editor. Whatever I need to do for her is what still keeps me motivated to go to another level.
Absolutely. You were her, what I refer to as her safe space, because I oftentimes get invited to go to events. I don't do a lot of bookings anymore because it can be weird out there. But, you know, when I go to events to host or whatever, I always make sure I have somebody with me, whether it be Dave or one of my homegirls, because they're kind of like my safe space. I feel more at ease when I got someone there that I trust and I know, versus walking into a big room with nobody you know. It could be nerve-wracking. So shout out to you, man, for playing multiple roles, wearing multiple hats. Absolutely.
Got to.
Do you feel like moving here to Atlanta has helped you enhance your career within production?
100%. Like, I don't think moving to Atlanta is for everybody. Like, if you want to make music, you don't have to move to a big city. You can do it from home, you know what I'm saying? But for me personally, it just gave me a different avenue. You know, more outlets to actually present my music to, more outlets to actually be a part of, you know what I'm saying? Like when I first moved to Atlanta, the first week I came here in 2012, I had a beat battle with Grand Hustle Records, Hustle and Flow beat battle.
Yes, and I remember that.
Yeah. And I was so nervous, like I'm stepping into a big city. Yeah, my beats have not been like in anybody's hands besides the internet on SoundClick and YouTube. So when I stepped in, you know what I'm saying, it was really nerve-wracking. But to step out on top and win first place is what really was like, God got to call him for you.
Man,
he sent you to Atlanta for a reason, man.
100%. As long as we build a relationship with our Lord and Savior, whoever you may believe in, He's got you.
Yeah.
You got to walk on faith like that.
You got to. I mean, without God, you ain't got nothing.
That is facts, man. Absolutely. Definitely. So with that experience working with Grand Hustle, they had the Hustle and Flow. Like you said, they had the beat battles. Plus they used to do the showcases with the performances. So that was kind of a kickstart for you here in the Atlanta market. How did that help you go on to the next level?
It really just helped me like network with people that could actually get me into the rooms with people that put me in a mindset to keep going and go to the next level. Because it's not really about what somebody can do for you.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of people can introduce you to people, but you got to still walk into it with that mindset of, okay, I got to work. I got to still keep going. And like I met people like at the time, DJ MLK, which was T.I.'s DJ and her Grand Hustle DJ. And just the introduction with him helped me get in the rooms with engineers that helped me get placements, and that helped me get into the rooms with these artists like Zeus at the time. They had a Jamaican artist named Zeus. 5 Mics was on the roster, still on the roster. I had a placement with Trey the Truth on his first album called Why, and that's still doing numbers till today. And I feel like Trey's at his peak right now when it comes to his image to the world. You know, he's doing so much more outside of music. So shout out to Trey and Grand Hustle for sure.
Absolutely. Big shout out to Grand Hustle. For a long time, I was doing all my listening parties over there. You know what I'm saying? And it's always love. Plus, long live Dope Boy Raw. I used to be over there with him so I would sit in with his studio sessions, man. So it's a great team and family over there. I'm sure it's changed up some now because it's been a minute.
Hustle gang,
all that, most definitely. You have some major accolades when it comes to production. Yellow Pain being one of them.
Yes, ma'am.
Love that dude. You know what I'm saying? That's like a bro right there for sure. Run through a couple of other artists. You know, right now is your moment to brag a little bit that you've had the beautiful opportunity of working with.
Got you. So, I mean, I've worked with a long list of artists from independent to major, and it starts off with like artists like Cash Doll.
I love her.
Love Cash Doll, man. First song I had with her was a song titled Check. And that kind of like put me in a position to where I could get more placements with these major labels in the industry, you know, when they saw that. So, and that was my first really like hands-on record where I actually worked with the artists and communicated with the artists.
Right, you know? You didn't just send them a beat and they recorded on it.
Exactly. But yeah, artists like Cash Doll, artists like Meek Mill, NLE Chopper. I actually have a song with NLE Chopper where I'm on the hook. It's my hook. Okay. And NLE Chopper does the verse, you know, so that's my single. You know, I can present that to the world as my song with NLE Chopper. So that's always been a blessing. Rich Homie Quan, Waka Flocka, Fabulous, Meek Mill, placements with Young Dro, so many artists. I don't want to forget anybody. There's so many songs, but
that's because you're working.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But some of my top songs, I have songs with Jadakiss. Like to have a song with a legend like that, it just always resonated with me. Like from a little kid, like listening to these guys, and now I got a record with Jadakiss.
I think it really solidifies you.
Yeah. I feel that too, and I feel like when you get that record with that big artist coming from a small place, it gives you it just gives you that hope. It gives you that grind to keep going, that will to like, oh, I can do this.
And shout out to those big artists who are giving producers that aren't fully all the way out there a shot to help catapult you to that level. Which you're, you know, in my opinion, you're there. You're one of the best producers, hands down, out here, and you're so cool and you're so humble. You're still young. You got a lot of longevity.
Yes, ma'am.
Definitely. Absolutely. You also have worked with some major labels.
Yes.
Let's talk about that for just a moment, because some producers maybe who are coming into the business, or even artists, don't understand at what level or how a producer works with a label. If you can break that down for us. Okay,
so I mean, when you're working with a label, it's different ways with the experience of working with a label. My experience personally, I've always dealt with labels through email first. So if they wanted something, say one of their artists had a song, you sent them beats maybe some months ago, you know what I'm saying? And that song actually made the album, it made the cut. The label will usually reach out to you and give you all the information you need to get your splits. Let you know when the song is going to be released, you know what I'm saying? And my first, like, I guess, big placement where I actually walked in the doors of the label was 2013. I did a song for Slowbucks. Slowbucks had a clothing line in New York, and they had Meek Mill and Fabulous on the song. So when I found out, I'm like, I got a song with Meek Mill and Fabulous. The label actually flew me out to New York. Shout out Epic Records and Sony. And I worked hands-on with Sha Money XL. And at the time, Sha Money was the executive of Epic Records, excuse me. And we just had a sit down meeting, and I kind of just played my tracks. It was more like a listening session when I got into the actual meeting with him.
Yes.
And in that listening session, I just kind of laid out all my beats and just said, this is what I have to offer. You know, I've been doing this for a while, but I'm really trying to get on with a label. And I think them seeing your grind and your hustle, and you taking the opportunity to actually come and actually meet with them, they always love to see you doing that. So when you actually get an opportunity to meet with these people, just make sure you take advantage of the opportunity and own it. You know what I'm saying? Don't play the back. You got to speak up for yourself. If you got a management team that's with you and you're in these situations, don't hesitate to speak up for yourself and tell these people what you offer. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. You have to know your worth and present that to the world. That's going to kind of lead into the next thing I want to talk about, is protecting yourself as well. You know, having contracts in place and maybe having an entertainment attorney read through it to make sure everything is on the up and up. You've experienced having to go through a lawsuit situation. As much as you want to or don't want to, touch on that if you don't mind talking about it.
Okay, so the touch on the lawyer aspect of it. So the lawsuit, if nobody knows, there was a song with J. Cole, Deja Vu, and a song Exchange by Bryson Tiller. And it was like a lot of controversy between these two songs. But I actually had that beat stolen from me from the producers. And everybody knows how producers are collaborating nowadays. It's like 8 to 10 producers on one track.
Right.
But this was before it really hit the internet and was a main thing. So this was back in 2013 and going up into 2016. So producer collaboration and you know, split sheets weren't really a thing when it came to giving people credit. It's more just like, all right, get the beat and we're gonna do what we do. The lawyer aspect of actually finding a lawyer to handle things like that is probably the most difficult part.
Right. Because
you have to have a lawyer that's for you. Like, if he doesn't believe people actually took your music, if he doesn't believe these producers are in the industry doing this, he's not going to take your case. He's going to take your money.
Right,
and then at the end of the day, tell you we don't have a case. So it's best to find a lawyer that believes in your vision and your plan for whatever you're dealing with. And my lawyer took on a contingency with me just because he knew what this was worth. He knew what happened. And before I got to my actual lawyer that I finished the lawsuit with, I went through 6 different lawyers.
Wow.
And I mean, it was really a difficult time to where a lawyer would say he believed in the case, and months would go by. He would be reaching out to Sony Records. He would reach out to Universal Music Group. He would reach out to Bryson Tiller, and he would come back and say, I don't know if we have enough. I just don't know if we have enough. And I have all the evidence in the world. I have these artists, these producers reaching out to me, trying to point the finger at the other party. So you got Exchange pointing the finger at Deja Vu. And you got Deja Vu saying, nah, man, we made this first. They stole it from us. So who did y'all get it from?
And you got the timestamp, too, of when it was actually created. So they can't dispute that.
Exactly, exactly. And I think what really gave me an upper hand in the evidence was a third party person in this situation was Cortez Bryant. Cortez Bryant was Lil Wayne's manager at the time, who was initially the guy that reached out to me for the music.
Okay.
The music was supposed to be for Drake, which Drake actually did a song to this beat, and it never came out.
Got you.
So what his producers did, they flipped the beat and basically gave it to J. Cole. The producers that were working on the J. Cole song noticed this song wasn't coming out anytime soon, which was around 2014-15.
Right.
So then one of the producers that did J. Cole's song, he said, all right, well, I'm going to flip it too, and I'm going to give it to Bryson Tiller then. And then Bryson actually came out with a Grammy-nominated song off the original files that stemmed from me.
That is crazy.
Yes.
So let me ask you this. Any piece of advice that you can offer to a producer out there who maybe is on the rise to protect themselves from situations like that?
For sure. I mean, producers, I would really say, once you create a beat and you put it out to the world, whether you send it to an artist, a label, or if you even sending it to a friend, just make sure you have timestamps. Make sure you actually copyright your work. You know, they say once you create and you're timestamped in your program, it's copywritten, but that's not true. You have to actually go and copyright this music with copyright.gov. You have to actually have some type of paperwork that shows, because when you go to court, if somebody steals your music and you go to court and you don't have that, they're going to throw your case out.
Man.
They're going to say you don't have any documentation over this song. You don't have any records of you even having a copyright or getting clearance to use any of this music. So make sure you take your time and get your ducks in a row and do what you need to do for real.
Absolutely. And I know producers as well as artists, they can register their works with Song Trust as well.
Exactly. I work with Song Trust.
Yeah, because they scan YouTube and places like that, you know, digital platforms for your sound. So if you register with them, that might be another way to protect yourself if you do it early on.
Yeah.
That is dope. Let me ask you this. If you have an artist that comes to you and say, you know what, I found this really dope beat on YouTube, but I cannot get in touch with the producer, because it happens sometimes, and they want you to recreate it. What is your response on something like that?
I hate it. I hate it. Like, I've had multiple artists do that. Close artists that I work with still to today will want me to do a beat that they found on YouTube, and it's just like, that's stealing. Like, people do it so much today. I don't think that people realize half of the songs we hear on the radio are reproductions of another producer's production.
Absolutely.
Like, if you hear a sample in a beat most days, 9 times out of 10, that sample came from a YouTube producer that already did the sample a few years ago.
Man.
And somebody stumbled across that page and said, hey, I like this vibe. Can you do this for me? So that producer's cut out completely, because first off, when you putting your songs out on YouTube, producers, you're putting your beats out with samples in them. If you didn't clear that sample and a producer decides to remake that beat and get the sample cleared, it don't matter when you made that beat. You didn't clear the sample to put it out in the first place.
Exactly.
So the person you're sampling could come sue you for real.
That's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Money.
Yes.
Facts. So just make sure you're doing everything you can do to get your work registered the right way.
Next question I want to talk to you about is artists leasing beats versus actually purchasing them. I feel like artists should purchase their beat as long as it's within a budget, because if you lease it, you're taking a chance of 50 other artists may have leased it and they're going to have that same beat as you.
Facts.
As a producer at your status where you're at in this industry, how do you feel about artists still leasing beats versus purchasing them?
I mean, I love it for the producer community.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a way to make money. It's a revenue stream, you know what I'm saying? What I try to do with leasing, I tell producers all the time, I put a limit on my leases.
Okay.
Because you don't want 100 different artists with that beat, but because then you become oversaturated. You become washed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, if 30 different artists is rapping on that beat, what's the purpose of you even trying to get it on the radio at that point?
Right.
Like, you're going to have a copyright claim. Somebody's going to make your life difficult just because they felt like, nah, they stole my song. Or people are waiting on opportunities like that for a song to blow up off a beat they rapped on. So I wouldn't knock leasing, but just kind of try to limit who you lease your beats out to and what the situation is behind the song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And like you said, put a cap on how many artists can actually lease that one beat.
Exactly.
Because I think some producers don't care because they just want that. And of course, we all want to get to the bag. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like you got to also have some boundaries there as well. So definitely, if the artist leases a beat from you and they come back and say, you know what, I want to purchase this beat, do you get that often?
Oh, yeah. I've been getting that since I started.
Okay.
So I started off making beats and posting them on SoundClick, which, I mean, I was making well over 6 figures, you know, yearly off SoundClick, which there were producers making millions of dollars within months off SoundClick. Like, shout out to Superstar O and Johnny Giuliano, producers like that actually grinded and started out and gave us the platform to follow.
Yes.
But I've had artists like lease a beat and 2 years come back and say, I want to purchase the exclusive. Not knowing that exclusive had been sold probably the 2 months after you leased it.
Oh, man.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
That's why you should always purchase an exclusive beat. If you feel like your lyrics are dope enough, if you feel like this song is dope enough, why not just purchase it and do what you need to do.
Right.
And you own your song now.
I agree. And you don't have to obviously give out your pricing, but let me ask you this. If an artist comes to you and says, I really want to purchase it, but my budget is this, will you work with them if it makes sense?
Always.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of like working with small businesses.
Yeah.
You're not going to charge them or upcharge them. You're going to kind of try to work with their budget, like you said. So I don't really... To tell you the truth, I would rather work with somebody that I know has the inspiration in themselves to be bigger than it just take somebody's money. It's not really about that with me anymore. I'm trying to really just mold my brand as a real production label, a production company, instead of a producer that's just selling beats.
Absolutely, because that artist that you turn away because maybe their budget wasn't all the way there could be the next platinum selling artist, and you missed out on that whole situation there.
Yep, and I've seen it multiple times.
Yeah. So that's what I think really keeps you on the forefront, is because you're very humble. You know what I'm saying? And that makes a big deal and a big difference, because nobody wants to work with an a-hole. You know what I'm saying? They just don't.
And I dealt with it a lot in this industry.
When did mixing and mastering come into play for you?
From the beginning, for real.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't really know how to mix and master the correct way.
Yeah.
But I had an idea of how I wanted it to sound. So that kind of just molded my brain to learn how to do it. And I went to YouTube University. Like,
me too.
Like what else do you do when you need to find something? You Google or you go to YouTube. And
I graduated. I need a certificate.
Come on now. I graduated at the top of my class. It's like, but mixing and mastering is key nowadays. You know, you don't gotta have all the tools and resources to do it, but just make sure you have a polished sound. And with me, I feel like with producers nowadays, you have to have a polished mix when you're sending your beats out. Yeah. Because an artist is going to bypass your beat if it's not knocking right. If your 808 ain't hitting, they ain't gonna say fuck that beat. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
No, that's absolute facts. Let me ask you this. When artists come to you and they're working with you for the first time on the engineering side, whether they recorded with you or maybe they already have the session and they want to send it off to you, what are some like do's and don'ts? Because I know some of these artists be driving the engineers crazy because they want 10,000 edits and whatever. What's some do's and don'ts when they approach you or any other engineer when it comes to working them, you know, doing their mixing and mastering?
I don't really have too many don'ts, you know what I'm saying? It's more about what the artist's vision is. Like, if you want me to record and produce your track in a timely manner, just give me the common courtesy to actually get it to you in quality time, so it will be quality work. Like, I've had artists lease a beat and then record it the same night and then send me the files and say they want that back in 2 hours. And I'm like, bro, like, my policy is a little different. You got a
whole life out here.
Exactly. So I really don't have a lot of do's and don'ts. It's just common courtesy, you know, looking after the person you're working with. You know what I'm saying? Keep them in mind.
No, that is facts, because they have to understand you have a whole catalog of clientele. Yeah. They are not your only client. Yeah. I deal with that too, because I always give people certain turnaround time, but then they'll come to me like 2 days before what I told them, like, how we looking? I hate that phrase. How we looking? We looking just fine over here. Like, just fine, right. Like that is a big pet peeve of mine. So definitely. What about artists on the production side? Same thing. Do you prefer to like cook up for them on the spot, or do you prefer them just to dig through your catalog that you have?
I mean, it's to each his own. You know, for me, I don't really have a set way of doing things. It's kind of just like a flow. Whatever the energy is, if the artist wants me to send them a pack and they're in another state, I send them a pack. And if something comes from it, hey, we gonna make it rock. But working with the artist hands-on, it seems to work a little bit faster and smoother because now you're hands-on with that artist. And communication. Like, you could be in a room with an artist and they could actually pick the first beat you play. But if you send them an email, they could go through all 10 beats and not pick one. Just because the vibe and the energy isn't there and you're not in the room with them.
Right. You have that chemistry, the energy, you guys are bouncing off of each other.
Exactly.
One more question going back to the engineering side. The artist wants you to engineer for them. Do you have a cap on how many edits they can?
I don't really have a cap.
You should.
I'll take notes, and I mean the budget comes into play at that point.
Right.
The more you want done, the more it's gonna cost.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, and that's just it. It is what it is. Like if you want this edited and this, and I want this mix, I want this bounce down, and I mean, come on now, I only could do so much in the time you gave me. So
facts, absolutely. So basically, what he's saying, you get about 3 good edits. After that, you have to pay for additional because it's your time.
Yeah.
It's taking time away from your family, taking time away from your other clients to focus on this track for a week or whatever. What is your average turnaround when someone sends you the session to get it back to them, for them to check it out to see if that's what they want?
Yeah, I usually will beat. So say if an artist wants a beat created.
Yeah.
I could do that in 15, 10 minutes. As far as like actually getting the idea down,
right?
Mixing and mastering the actual beat and sending it back. It could be anywhere from 2 hours to maybe 10 hours, like a full day type thing.
Yeah.
When it comes to recording and sending back an engineered production, I would give an artist just like a week. Like, just give me the time to actually make it right. We don't want to put out trash. We want to put out quality music that means something to us. So a week when it comes to mixing and mastering songs. Give me a day for a beat and I got you.
Yeah. Don't rush the process. Trust the process.
Exactly.
All of them are like in a hurry, and not to be mean, but some of y'all artists, like, you're rushing to get it out and nobody's even waiting on it.
Exactly. You gotta have somebody looking at you to put that song in the consumer's hands.
Man, everybody waiting on this. Who is everybody?
Who is everybody? Exactly. Yeah.
So listen, I definitely understand. What about getting into film, as far as like getting your production into film? Is that something you've tapped into?
Oh yeah, I'm glad you said that. So there's a guy in my city, hometown, Dayton, Ohio, Jason DBKS, and he's a film director and he's also a rapper, but he's taken film as his #1 go-to.
Gotcha.
And now he has over 7 movies on Tubi.
Wow, that's dope.
Amazon Prime. I have production in each one of those movies. Which it's not because of, you know, the beats themselves. It's more because of the relationship with this rapper, this director, and he's a very humble guy. So that was kind of like my first like hands-on experience with a director, where he's asking me like, "Hey G, I need this song. I need something to fit this scene. Like, let me know if you got a sample or anything that fits this gun scene, that fits whatever it may be." And the experience of like crossing over into that field is something that I really would love to take up future-wise. You know, like I would love to be hands-on with major movie producers. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm scoring these movies, which I've had placements in major movies, but I haven't scored a movie yet. So
Understood.
That's my next step.
What about like getting into post-production, where you're actually doing the mixing and mastering for the audio for the movie? Is that something you've tapped into? Because people don't realize that's a whole business in itself.
Yes, I have mixed so many like songs that are specifically for movies.
Yeah.
And I've mixed like movie scenes, television scenes, to where you got to get the audio crisp.
Yeah.
And it's something I like doing. But it's more timely to me doing that than actually producing music.
Right.
So as long as the budget was right for something like that, I would love to do that, you know.
Absolutely. That there would have to be a big budget in place for that, because I would imagine that's very, very, very time consuming. Because even sometimes the audio, they have to come into the studio and re-record it, because on set maybe there's too much background noise or something going on. So there's a lot that goes into play with that. So that's something you're open to doing as long as it makes sense for you.
Exactly.
Definitely. Absolutely. Have you put together like a collective, like collaborative album of all your beats with different artists on it?
Yes, I have. I actually have an album called Lingo.
Okay.
And Lingo was actually put out about 2 years ago. I never really promoted it like I should have, but it's out there, and it's just basically all my compilation of big records that I love, from the Meek Mills to the Wiz Khalifas to songs like that. I kind of put that on a compilation album and just presented it to the world so people could see my work. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And of course, now I'm working on so many projects that I probably could pull 10 different artists and make a project right now.
Right. Absolutely. I think that's important because I feel like a lot of producers don't get their shine as much as like an artist would, because the artist is always on the forefront doing shows, you know, doing stuff like this. So it's important for producers as well to put yourself out there. Them compilation albums work. What about like, you know, putting one together of, you know, maybe some independent artists, you know, like all your production and you do 10 songs collabed with different independent artists you rock with. Is that something you'd be open to doing?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Like I got so many folders sitting where that idea has already been in my mind. It's just I haven't acted on it based off like other ventures I've been working on right now, but that's something I really am focused on doing, is getting with these independent artists I've worked with and just presenting their work as our work instead of an individual piece of work, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. Without
being biased, what is your favorite piece of work to date with whatever artist it be, you know, whether it be a song you did with Cash Doll or somebody else? What's your very favorite record that you've collabed with on with an artist?
That's hard.
I know it's a tough one.
It's tough. It's so many records, so many dope artists I've worked with. I mean, I've worked with thousands of artists over the year, like no cap, and I really can't choose one. Like if I had to
give us 2 or 3 then.
Okay, so I'll give you 2. Okay. So of course, Yellow Pain.
Yes.
I just think that his direction, where he goes with his music, is just top tier. Like,
I agree.
He's in his own lane when it comes to that with the visuals.
Yes.
So we got a song called Examples that we just put out, and we also have a song called All of Them that just came out last week. And I mean, those are 2 of my favorite records he's ever done, just based off the bounce and the vibe.
Yes.
So Yellow Pain for sure, and my artist Shot Smoke from LA.
Yes.
I mean, we got timeless music. This guy is a beast when it comes to writing, when it comes to the image, when it comes to the presentation. Like I said, he helped me mix and master from a young age to now to where I feel so polished. So those 2 artists are probably my favorite to work with.
Shout out to those guys, definitely. Yeah. What about when it comes to creating other genres of music? Are you open to, I know you have, but are you open to producing pretty much any genre? If an artist comes to you and says, hey man, I want to try a little country music, or I want to try a little pop or whatever.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, I mean, I've been kind of like crossing over for years when it comes to R&B, back to trap, back to country, back to reggae. Afro beats kind of like came and played these past few years.
Big time.
So I had to get my Afro beat game back up. And, yeah, like I'm open to doing any type of genre when it comes to beats. And I actually have a production team. Shout out FLMG.
Okay.
Shout out my homie CL McCoy. And shout out my homie Young Bala. That's the production team we put together. And Young Bala's from Houston, Texas.
Okay.
Or Dallas, Texas. I'm sorry, let me get that right. Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
And CL's from OKC. And they're both like top producers from their area. So they have different vibes. Bala's from Houston and the Dallas area, so he knows that.
We love that sound.
Swing,
yeah.
that southern swing sound. My homie CL's from OKC, so he's very versatile when it comes to his sound. He doesn't really have a set sound.
Right.
He can do it all. So, and also my homie Prince Dugan. I mean, you know Prince Dugan.
Of course, that's the homie.
Exactly. He's been working with me since we were this tall type stuff. And he's so versatile when it comes to the creative process. He opens my mind to like hear new sounds.
Yes.
To be like, hey man, try that. Take that guitar and flip it and do this. So those 3 producers really helped me expand my sound.
Are you really open to that? Meaning that if you say you put a whole beat together and one of the people on your team says, you know what, maybe you should flip this, are you like okay with that?
Oh, yes.
Okay, good. Because, you know, some people be like, man, it's fine the way it is.
Nah, I didn't experience that where the producer like, get off the mouse, man. You're like, move out. Like, I done had that a while. Yeah, so I'm open to any, you know, advice when it comes to criticism.
Yes, absolutely. We have to, because this is an industry where you can't have that thin skin per se. You have to be open to criticism as long as it's not insulting.
Facts.
It's a big difference between constructive criticism and someone just blatantly insulting you.
And I think communication is what we're lacking kind of in this world today when it comes to the music world. Everybody kind of wants to be it.
Yes.
Because you can be it so fast nowadays. You can become a star overnight. You know
right. With the social platforms and stuff.
So I feel like communication is kind of lacking right now in our space, for real.
What do you think as a producer that you can do right now in 2024 besides being on social media to get your you know, your work out there, your name out there, your face out there?
I mean, there's so many ways. I feel like always being on the scene, being in the scene is the best way, because, I mean, a hand-to-hand action or a face-to-face action, and nothing's better than that.
I
Because
agree.
you just get that, it's like the energy between two people is just like, when you're in their face, nothing beats that, you know what I'm saying? So being in somebody's face has to be the number one like, go-to for me.
Getting out there, networking, meeting people, shaking hands, and kissing babies, as they say.
Exactly.
Absolutely. For any aspiring producers that are just starting out, you know, and I see them sometimes, they talk about it, or I'll interview them and they're like, man, I want that big record, you know, so I can get some plaques or whatever. And it's funny because, you know, I was having a conversation with Drummer Boy and I talked to him about this, and he said, you know, they need to start at the independent level and just kind of work their way up and network, like you said.
Yeah.
Anything that you could add to that as a piece of advice for these producers who are just starting out and they're hungry for that big record?
Yeah. I mean, I would say don't chase the record.
Yeah.
Just follow your path. You know, your journey is your journey, and nobody really can knock your journey. So you really just got to be faithful in everything you do and grow. You know, you got to kind of take tidbits from this producer or from this artist or this DJ, whoever's in the music industry that you are inspired by. Kind of feed off them, and you'll continue to grow without even knowing it. It's like your brain to start taking what they do, and you'll implement it into your life without even knowing, because you're inspired by what they do.
Absolutely, 100%. Are there other business ventures outside of the music industry that G Money is pursuing?
Oh, most definitely.
Talk to us.
So, like I said, I have a production team that I've worked with, but outside of making music, we try to do things when it comes to helping, you know, the community, helping people in general, giving advice, you know what I'm saying, being mentors for, I wouldn't want to be like start a mentorship, but I would rather just let people know I'm here to give you advice, to guide you along the way if you need anything. Like I said, the movies, we're getting more involved with this production on movies. Acting, like I've really been wanting to get into acting, to where I've sat down and wrote scripts and segments to YouTube shows that I want to produce and get with other directors and put together, and not just be hands-on with music, but really directing these shows.
Absolutely, because film has so much longevity in it. I feel like what you do in the music industry also has longevity. Someone who's a trap rapper, there's not a ton of longevity there. They don't want to be 60 still rapping about
some stuff they're not doing that they did in their 20s.
Exactly. But as a music producer, I think you could do that for a lifetime. Same thing with film. It's a lot of longevity. So have you done any acting yet?
I have, but nothing to where it's on major platforms.
Right.
Kind of just behind the scene commercials, like skits for social media type things. But I do really want to get into major acting. You know, I feel like it's something that I would love to do.
What about your friend from Ohio that you said is doing film? Ever a thought to maybe, is he still doing film?
Oh yeah, he's doing that currently. And see, I think the opportunity.
Give him a role.
Oh yeah, Jay, I'm ready to get in one, my dog. Got my hustle up too, calling my name. But yeah, like I think that's just more like a conversation between me and him, and I think that he would actually, you know, love that idea of me being in one of his films or projects for the right time, you know, right timing. But far as pursuing it, you know, it's just step by step. I'm just kind of taking it day by day, you know, coming up with ideas and finding the right people to actually introduce me into that.
Do you know King June out here in ATL?
Oh man, I don't think I heard of King June.
I need to make sure you guys meet. He's a filmmaker out here. He's got, you know, movies on Tubi and Amazon as well. And he's a good person. You know, he and I have sat down and we've had these same conversations, but he's always casting for his films. And sometimes it might be just you get the IMDb credit, which is cool, you know, or there might be some paid situations or whatever. So definitely I'll have to make sure you guys meet, because he's a good person like you.
For sure.
Definitely. Anything else in the works that you need to put people on game with that we did not touch on?
Oh yeah, I mean, I got so many notes I had ready for you.
Go ahead.
Let me go ahead and put my notes up, man, because I don't want to really miss nothing. So right now, I'm working with my production company FLFG, and I really feel like we're like one song away from being that go-to production team. You know what I'm saying? I just did a album listening party online with my producer CL McCoy, where he's putting out an album, And, you know, I didn't know what to expect because I never did an online
like a virtual one.
party.
Yeah. Where did you guys stream it at?
On Zoom.
Okay,
on
that's
Zoom.
hard.
Yep. So when I got on, you know, I didn't know what to expect. I know we were going to be listening to the album, but when I got on and saw the interaction and how many people were actually on there, and not just, you know, important people, the actual consumers are on there giving feedback to, like, all right, I just want to listen to it. I want to ride to that song.
Yeah.
So things like that, like creating these online album parties and, you know, tapping into your resources. We have some things in the works too with my homie Prince Dugan. So Prince Dugan has been working on the biggest body of work and the greatest body of work I think he's going to present to the world. And he's just took himself to another level when it comes to understanding himself. You know what I'm saying? To where I think he can now present himself to the world as that superstar.
I agree.
That superstar.
He has that superstar quality.
And same with my homie Shy Smoke. So me and
I gotta meet him.
You gotta meet.
I gotta meet him.
You gotta meet. So Shy's done things that people would never imagine. Like he's written songs for Marilyn Manson.
Wow.
Like this is a trap rapper.
That's dope because that's like a complete flip right there.
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly. So we're kind of just still molding like the idea of how to market him,
right?
Which we know how to put him in the direction, but the consumer, we want the consumer to understand him so that the fans are like, I love him. I need to see what he's doing.
Right. Understood. Yeah, because it's like it's a fine line between giving them too much and not giving them enough, so the consumers fully understand, man, this guy's super talented. He's not just, you know, hip hop. He does, like you said, other genres. Writing for someone like Marilyn Manson, that's just totally different. So yeah, that's gonna probably be a touchy situation. You got to figure out how you give them just enough but not too much.
Exactly. We still navigating it.
Definitely. Anything else?
I mean, it's some more I could touch on, but I just want to give a few shout outs to people that I am currently working with, you know, that keep me motivated. Shout out my PR, Krista, the networking queen, Krista Zielinski. She's been grinding for so long to like just helping independent artists, helping the up and coming artists, to where she's built a brand with hundreds of thousands of independent artists following her, going to her for, you know, the experience that she has and the knowledge she has.
She here in Atlanta?
She's actually in St. Louis and Fort Wayne, Indiana area.
Dope. Okay.
So
I'll have to make sure I follow her.
You got to.
What's her Instagram?
The networking queen.
Oh, I love that.
All platforms.
I love that. I'm gonna make sure I have to tap in.
Yeah. So shout out to Krista. And really the producers that I work with, I feel like we're about to take over the game. I don't like to like be unhumble or sound unhumble, but I really feel like God's telling me this is like our time. Like this is our time to show the world why we've been grinding for so long, you know, and I'm ready for it. Like I had a conversation with God the other day. He responded. He said, "Hey, keep going.
Nah, facts.
You think I ain't gonna show you how to go?" And yeah, we here now.
What is the name of the collective of producers? Do you have a name for you guys together?
Yes. So the name is FLMG Production Company, but we just kind of go by FLMG.
What does that stand for?
So it's Fast Life Music Group.
Okay, because I heard you mention that earlier on, so I wasn't sure if that was the name. So Fast Life Music Group, that's dope.
And it's just, you know, based off, you know, moving fast, keeping that energy high and grinding and getting to where you want to be in life.
Man, that is really, really dope. Where can we catch you at next?
Hey, you can catch me anywhere in the A. Like, I'm LA, the A. I'm trying to really just put my brand on the high horse. I want everybody to know what G Money has going on. I've been working on content for social media. I've been out doing things with my wife when it comes to branding. And I just feel like, you know, I'm in position to win right now.
Yes, absolutely. What do you feel like is something that you need to work on within yourself as a music producer and a audio engineer? Is there something you feel like, man, I'm kind of slacking on this a little bit and I need to work a little harder?
Oh yeah, always. You know, I never want to feel like I know everything. So when it comes to engineering, like there are engineers that have been doing this for 30, 40 years and made billions of dollars, millions of dollars. And, you know, I want to learn from them as I continue to build. You know, I want to learn from different producers that are putting out sounds that I've never even tapped into. And I still want to learn from producers in my lane when it comes to trap, R&B, because you're never too old to grow. You're never too young to, you know, to not grow. So it's just like, just keep going. And for me, I just got to get it. I got to get it by any means, for real.
Man, one last question for you on the keep going, because sometimes that's easier said than done.
For sure.
Because some people are not self-motivating. People like us, we're self-motivating, right?
Yeah.
What advice could you offer someone on that, since we're getting a little deep? You know what I'm saying? Because I think it's important that people like you and I who have a voice to help motivate other people. Maybe someone feel like things aren't moving the way they wanted to or as quickly as they want to. What advice could you offer them?
So I kind of like keep quotes with me. Like I like to look at motivational things that keep me going. So I just keep notes in my phone, and a few quotes that I live by is, you know, sticking to the plan, because nothing worth having has ever came easy with nobody.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Another quote I like to say is the visions, you know, the vision that we have is made to make provisions. You have to actually adjust your vision on your journey.
I love that.
So if you have a vision, don't be scared to have a provision. Which just adjusting, you know what I'm saying?
That's a great one.
Thank you.
That is a great one.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I just want to touch on that for a second, because you are absolutely right. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. Most of the time, things aren't going to go exactly as planned. So you have to be open to them provisions to say, you know what, I got to tweak this a little bit. Same thing like with your production.
Facts.
You know, great one. Love that.
Yes, ma'am. And then the last quote I want to run by y'all was just know your why. You know, stick to your purpose.
Yes.
And be intentional with your life goals moving forward.
Man, that's so deep. And again, thank you for sharing that, because that's something that I ask a lot when I'm conversing with people. It's like, what is your why? Because some people don't know, or they've never thought about that. They've never thought about why am I doing this?
Facts.
You know, and rather than making excuses not to do something, figure out why you should be doing it.
Yes.
Because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't have time.
Yeah.
To keep themselves healthy or go work out a little bit. Yes, you do.
Yeah, yes, you do.
You got time, because there's that 30 minutes you sitting on the couch watching TV. You could be going for a walk or something.
Exactly.
Figure out our why. Absolutely. I love that, man. Shout out to G Money checking in.
Shout out T. You
Definitely. Where can people keep up with you?
You can keep up with me on all platforms at I Made the Beat on every platform.
I Made the Beat.
You already know. IMADETHA instead of THE. The Beat. So THABEAT on all platforms. I Made the Beat.
One more question. Speaking of that, you and I, we right here. You know what I'm saying? So I keep coming up with more thoughts. That tag, is that the only tag that you use on your production?
It's funny you said that. A few years ago, I actually created a new tag.
Okay.
And a new venture I'm working on called Lot of Dollars. And so this is a side note, the gem I'm gonna drop. I was actually recording independent artists from my hometown. He flew down to Atlanta.
Okay.
And he set up a session. And he had like a song he was working on. And I heard him say, some, lot of dollars. I said, hold on, what you say? And he said it back. I said, hold on, bro, I'm going to use that as my tag. So I chopped it up, and that is my tag currently right now. That's my second beat tag.
That's hard.
Shout out my homie C-Note.
Do you still use the OG tag, though?
I do. You know what's funny is...
Because that one's so dope.
Yellow Pain actually requested for me to send the beats with my old tag. He like, nah, man, I want the OG tag.
I love that.
Like, that stand out. So,
yes, absolutely. Definitely. Anybody else that you want to give thanks to or give a shout out to who's been really supporting you through your journey?
For sure. I want to give a shout out to my family, of course. You know, my wife. My wife is my rock. You know, without her, I probably wouldn't even be still moving
know
today.
that's right.
I can't lie to you. But my wife, my kids, my family, my mom. Like, my mom was my business manager for so long. Until she got to a point where she needed to grow in her field. So shout out my mom. Shout out my city. Like, one thing I think, me being from Dayton, Ohio, and me being a Dayton, Ohioan, we wear our city on our back. And they always say they feel like it's no place like Dayton, Ohio. That's what we say from the city. So my city keeps me motivated, you know, just knowing I came from there and I can inspire my people. It is beautiful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My last question is, we're live. Big Industries Most Wanted. Not the little one. We got G Money checking in today. Go ahead and tell everybody what makes you the industry's most wanted.
What makes me the industry most wanted is, you know, I grind to get it. You know, I never stop. You know, faith in God, you know, family. You always put that first, and you're going to do what you need to do in life, and God going to lead the way. 100.
That's facts, man. Thank you for being here.
Yes, ma'am.
It was great to see you again.
Always.
It's been a minute.
You know I love you. And
Man,
shout out
I love you
my
too,
dog
bro.
Dave too. Love y'all, man.
Absolutely. We love you too. And, you know, at some time, maybe we can get together on, you know, even just on some let's go hang out type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't really do that often.
Facts.
Definitely.
We got to make that happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We up out of here, y'all.
Let's get it.
We had a purpose. Stay in your bushes with drakes and we lurk. Ain't give us nothing, now we had to earn it. Yeah. Now I got all these bad bitches on me. I got all these